Hello friends, welcome to lecture number 33. In this lecture, we will study about objectives of services and continuum of services. To start with the objective of services, services need to be delivered with a service orientation, not for selling a product, not for selling a service, not for just delivering, whatever you have produced, but actually it is up to the expectation of the customer as per his convenience, as per his convenient time, the way in which he wants to, all these things together is called service orientation. So if the your team is having customer service orientation, then obviously it will result into quality customer service, and quality customer service will result into an improvement in your customer satisfaction and a variety of aspects of services. It's not just about one of the service. This orientation, if it is there in the company, it will be depicted in the each and every service which your company is providing. Even if your accountant is counting cash and giving it back to to your guest or to your tourist, that will also be a very much service oriented. That's what this is talking about. It's not about one of the aspects to only that employee which is in direct touch with the tourist. It is from each and every aspect, and then it will result into the higher customer level of satisfaction, higher satisfaction, and this will finally be profitable for the company by it will raise the service provider's bottom line. Bottom line here means what is the final net profit which the company has made after deducting all the taxes and deducting all the expenditures. So that's what this net profit of the company will increase. So the service provider's bottom line will increase. Now, what are the main objectives for providing these services? The main objective for providing services or providing good service with the service orientation is to provide convenience to the tourist. Like we talk about TMCs. TMCs provide security, TMCs provide rightly information at the right time, TMC sell the wisdom, TMC sell an itinerary, TMC sell convenience to the tourist, saves time, provides product at an economical rate. All those things put in together, they provide a convenience to the tourist. And J. Anton in 1996, he said that it provides convenience in the form of comfort, in the form of well-being. Well-being means safety and security of the tourist. It provides entertainment. It also provides a satisfaction. So these are the main objective because of which tourist convenience is the main thing, because of which service orientation is needed, services are needed. So to ensure tourist security, what is needed? Like how do you think just tourist feels secured if he's traveling with a tour management company and such thing? By providing them adequate lighting wherever your tourist is staying. When he is visiting your office or any such thing, then adequate lighting will be there. This lighting will provide them a sense of security, okay, because they can see it clearly what is there. If we go to any place which is not properly lit and we find it little bit darker, don't we feel little unsafe? Element has been eliminated if proper lighting is there. Then by providing them security staff when they enter into the office, when they enter into your office, when they park their vehicle, when they go into a hotel and they see proper security staff, alert, well dressed, then they feel like that yes, that place is safe for them, okay. Then by providing them emergency medical services, or if not emergency medical services or facilities, then just informing them where they can go in case of any emergency. So this information is also equally important. Then guest room locks, proper lock, okay, not in the form of that key and lock separately, but the lock in such a form wherein they feel like that yes, they only have a key to this, okay. Then locked spaces in coaches to keep luggage during the travel. If they are traveling and their luggage is lying open, and then maybe it is tied to some rope or any such thing, and then later on what happens when they go for washroom, when they go for eating or just go to a sightseeing, then they feel whether their luggage is safe or not, and they want a surety for their luggage. So if there is a proper space in a coach wherein they can keep their luggage and that place is locked, that particular shelf is locked and the key is with the coach driver, so in that condition, they feel their luggage is safe, they feel secured. Then if the sprinklers are there in the hotels, then they feel that this is, a kind of security and safety against the fire. Then clearly marked exits, okay, in case of emergency. So This is also a good way in which tourists feel safe, informing about the emergency lights, okay, where these emergency lights are, how they can find about them, okay. Then opposites are questionable neighborhood, okay. If this is one side of the continuum wherein we are talking about all thing which is safe, which is conducive, which is convenient for the tourists and giving them, you know, a sense of being served well, and there is another side when the hotel or the TMC office is being located in a questionable neighborhood, okay, which is not safe, there is no proper parking, accessibility is not good, there are some kind of shops which are, you know, doing some kind of dubious activities. So all these things raise a question in the mind of a tourist, and they find that, yeah, I mean, this is not something where they can rely on. We all know this thing: when we visit an office which is not in a safe vicinity, then we do not do business with them, whether we are going there as a B2C or B2B, okay, whichever way we are going. So that's what companies need in mind. And another example for that is lack of deadbolt. Deadbolt are those locks which are cannot be opened from either of the side. They can be opened by, you know, taking out nuts and bolts. They can only be opened through their keys. So the moment they see there is a deadbolt, you know, those knob kind of locks, it gives them a sense of security. So these are all the, you know, objectives. These are different types of services which I have discussed with you right now. And if you provide these kind of services, then your tourists feel, you know, well served and safe, secure, convenient, comfortable, you know, taken care by the TMC or the hotel or the airline, and as a result of which their satisfaction level goes up, okay. So how this thing has been done? This thing has been done by generating a traffic. So when a customer is actually satisfied, your customer speaks, you know, positive about you. He spreads a positive word of mouth or word of mouse worm. So then, you know, he may even extend his stay in his hotel, or he may return to the destination once again if he feels that the destination is, you know, safe and secure, and the hotels are also take care of them very well. So these all things, you know, are finally resulting into a higher traffic generation. And another thing is, this is not just about this tourist. When this tourist is talking about, you know, you positively, then he is giving a recommendation to others to visit to this place. So as a result of which, the total traffic which has been generated or created by, you know, this particular company goes high. Next is, it provides a competitive edge to the company. Now, how does it provide a competitive edge? Now, being from leisure, luxury and entertainment industry, tourism and its sectors like hospitality, aviation, etc. are expected by their customers to provide a good range of, you know, baseline services. I mean, there's a minimum thing which has to be the core, which I spoke to you in the, you know, previous lectures. That's what I'm talking about here. Now, a clear understanding of customers' needs to be used, the company needs to understand, to be used for developing creative and innovative ideas and products on the basis of these, you know, innovative and creative ideas, and to be delivered by strategizing the services in such a way which include the necessary steps and which will provide a safe and secure position to the travel and hospitality services providers. You know, if company finds out what is required, they use their creativity and innovation and then design their product, then they strategize and, you know, deliver their products in such a way, then as a result of which they are going to be differentiating themselves from their competition, and it will give them a competitive edge, and as a result of which their survival probability is obviously higher, okay. Now next is customer demand. Now let me give you, before I start with customer demand, let me give you a very good example of competitive edge. We all have heard about wake up calls. Now Marriott has started don't wake up call, okay. It is particularly, they have done it for their business tourist. Now we all know that business tourists, generally work a day previous, then they go to the destination, then they work during the day, and then there is a time during the night when they really want to relax, because there is going to be next day when they are going to have their second working day, which is again going to be hectic. So they do not want anybody to disturb them during that time. So instead of giving them a wake up call, they inform it to the hotel that not to disturb them and not to give them a wake up call, or not to disturb them, get them disturbed by anyone. Okay, any call, any courier, any visitor, any such thing, no. And this is what is called DND call, or do not wake up call. And this is a very specific and very unique facility provided by Marriott's. And it's such a competitive edge for all those properties which are providing these services, because business tourists are very relaxed here. So that way, understanding the peculiarities and the unique demands and coming up with a unique idea to deliver that kind of comfort to your tourist is what is, required, so that the objectives of, providing services to the tourist can actually be fulfilled. So the third one is customer demand. The service provider should generate specific services as per the requirements of the target segments. Okay. Now, most frequently, targeted groups of travel management companies are families are there, business travelers are there, and MICE segment which is there. Now, all three segments have their specific requirement. They are very, distinct in their requirements. Now, beside these segments also have certain subsegments in these in them. Families may be family of two, family with senior citizens, families with kids, or families with just senior citizens and without any kid. So that's how they have different subsegments also in them. So it is up to the company to decide on the basis of its resources that whether it wants to target an entire segment, that is maybe the entire business travelers or family, or one or few sub-segments in the, that particular broad segment itself. Maybe families, but in case of families, families with kids or families without kids. Okay, so then only the services have to be customized and promoted accordingly. Now, in order to create a higher demand for the products, as C. Wolf has said in 1998 that high-end business customers expect general amenities too. They don't just expect, expensive things. They also expect very general amenities. This is something which I am sure must be a news to you all. And these general amenities, these include, those services which they use at their home also, like cable TV. Why? They need news. Newspaper delivery, again to read news. Then coffee delivery. Okay. Room service, fitness facilities, and laundry or maybe dry cleaning service. So a service manager, in order to attract these top flight business people, must provide these services as a basic standard. So whatever they have been using at their home, take that as base, and these all services have to be there in the hotel also. Only then you select that hotel as your accommodation provider and make a product. Otherwise, your high-end business tourist or high-end traveler will not be satisfied. Okay. Now, next we will discuss about continuum of services. Services are the result of interactions between service providers and customers. Now, services providers also want a personal interaction with their customers, as it provides them an opportunity to provide a more positive and personal experience to the tourist. Okay, not just online or maybe telephonic or maybe Skype or WhatsApp call or something like that. Okay, no, it has to be a personal. They want to give personal touch, so they look for this kind of an opportunity. But however, it is noteworthy to mention here that the interaction is a very small part of the overall experience of the tourist. So, as a tourist, overall perception of service quality comes from a variety of experiences, and not just these interactions, whether these are face-to-face or through online medium. Now, with the service provider, overall a longer period of time. So, whatever services which the service provider has provided, a combination of all of them result into the experience of a tourist, and these interactions, whether face to face or online, are a very little part of it. Okay, so therefore the service provider should pay attention not only to the single one site experience, that is when the tourists are on the tour, not only just on that, but on overall the chain of events and interactions which precede and follow this on-site experience. So here I am talking about not only what has happened during the experience, during the tour, because this is the time when actually a tourist is, face to face or more face to face with the service provider, but also what has happened precede, that is before the tour, and after that, that is after the tour. So all those things, all those elements, interactions put in together actually result into the experience, and this experience actually result into the satisfaction level for the tourist. Now these multiple touch points should be taken as opportunities to play a significant role in shaping the tourist overall perception of service quality. Okay, I told you this thing, the difference between standard service and service quality. So here we are talking about service quality. Now these interactions are moments of truth. Okay, every interaction is creating a moment of truth for the customer. So here I have provided you with a continuum of tourism services. I have adopted this continuum from KPG's service continuum for hospitality and service providers. So I have taken it and then I have adapted to the requirement of the TMCs. Okay, this was developed by KPMG for hospitality services basically. Now let me tell you this thing. I used a word moment of truth. What is the meaning of moment of truth? There are n number of interactions which keep on happening between the service provider and the customer or the tourist here. But what happens, there comes a moment during those interaction or during the delivery of service when actually the tourist realizes something, that realization of whether the service has been delivered to him or not delivered to him, or there is some problem in that, or it's exceptionally good, that is called the moment of truth. That moment of realization of delivery or not delivery of service is called moment of truth. So when I told you this thing, that there are n number of times when actually all these tourist and service provider interact with each other before tour, during the tour and after the tour. It means there are n number of moment of truths. Okay, if there are n number of moment of truth, it means every point, every touch point is significant. It is not only salesperson who is coming in touch. It is not only the employees of the travel management company who are coming in touch with the tourist and defining his overall experience. There are other people also who are making an impact in, or maybe playing their role in while defining the tourist experience. So these moments of truth all together result into some kind of satisfaction or dissatisfaction or level of satisfaction in tourist. Okay, now I'm going to explain you all these points one by one. First is before the tour. Now the travel management companies provide information in the market through different media like email IDs, WhatsApp messages, newspapers, advertisements in magazines, tabloids, TV, radio, internet, social media, n number of means which are there through which travel management companies, they get in touch with the tourist and they, provide them the information. These information give perception to the tourist and define their expectations. Services should be marked honestly and a very in a very straightforward manner for avoiding communication gaps. Now, while communicating with the tourist, it is very important that whatever kind of services the company is provided, it has to be, in a very straightforward manner. Whatever is there kind of a thing. It should not be in a vague language which creates some kind of communication gap and then tourist, understands something else. Okay. Now, information should sufficiently provide the details to solve the basic queries of the tourist, and at the end should detail on the place from where a potential customer may acquire more information, because advertisements and these all communications have their own limitation, and tourist, when he is actually interested and needs information beyond it, they might be just telling about the basic price and destinations or cities which they are going to visit, but no, the detailed itinerary, total costing, time of departure, arrival there, and then later on the entire schedule for, let's say, 10 nights is something which requires a very serious discussion. Okay, so there must be something in all those communication which are going to tell to the tourist that from where he can collect the further information. Now, company must not hesitate to acquaint the tourist from possible risk, including cancellation policy also. This is, before the tour. And before the tour, services must go without unexpected interruptions. Means interruptions are totally not allowed, not expected, but expected also, as these are the first encounter of the tourist. Okay, and with the service provider and go a long way in establishing loyalty among them. So tourist may not have become your customer at all. He might be just in an inquiry phase, and if there is any unexpected thing has come up, then please the tourist will, this reliability quotient will go down from there itself. Okay, there is no scope for doing an error. It is to be perfect in the first attempt itself. Okay, now next is during the tour. Now, these are the most important interactions from the perspective of the tourist, because these are the reasons because of which the tourist has actually come on a tour or purchased a product. Pre and post tour interactions might and might not happen face to face, but during tour interactions will certainly be face to face interaction. Okay, the tourist interacts with many service providers during the tour, so a TMC must select the service providers very carefully, and only those companies which follow the same quality and service delivery methods, and that entire company philosophy has to be service oriented, only those should be selected by the travel management company, not anyone who is available. No. Now, services deliveries must be pleasant, efficient and consistent with time. This is very important. Now, providing a detail about the different payment options available to the tourist will make him safe and secure during the transaction. Okay, so these are different ways actually in which you can make a tourist feel comfortable. Okay, the elements of human interaction, personalized service and responsiveness to the tourist, these needs are the essence of tourist assistance and service. Here it is noteworthy to mention that providing good services to tourists on a luxury 4-star or 5-star property expensive tour is easy. But still, there are so many travel management companies which can provide good services very efficiently to even budget tourists. So when you are charging from the tourist, you can arrange services. But when you are not charging, high amount, still there are so many companies which can provide good satisfaction to the tourist by providing good services. How they do this? So they do this because it is not only about the money which is spent by the tourist, but also about a service orientation in the staff and the organization per se during the delivery of the service. Now, let me give you a few examples of this. For example, small hotels, if do not have their restaurant, can tie up with good nearby restaurant to provide F&B services. So, tourists have not stayed or guests have not stayed in your hotel to have F&B services only cooked in your, hotel. If you do not have a kitchen, you do not have a restaurant, it's absolutely fine. Get a tie-up with any good one. And finally, it is about F&B services and you have been able to do so. So, that's how a small hotel can also provide good service. Or let me give you one more example, like TMCs and hotel can go for franchise for better penetration in the market. So when it comes to, they don't have to travel a lot because they have their franchises present in the nearby location and they can purchase the product and collect information from there. So all these are different kind of services. So these small companies can also provide good services. And let me tell you, the expectations of these high-end customers and those customers which do not spend a very high amount on luxury are also different. So if their expectations are different, satisfaction is about up to their expectations or beyond that. So even a customer who has not spent much on luxury can also be satisfied because his expectations are different. You fulfill those expectations and service will be delivered. So there is a win-win situation. If a service provider can provide it, absolutely fine. get franchise, get a different kind of tie-ups with other restaurant, other things, and it is going to be good for all. It is going to be good for a travel management company, it is going to be good for hotel, it is going to be good for franchise, it is going to be good for that small restaurant also, and of course for tourists also. So that's how it's about service orientation. That's how it's about how do you plan the delivery of services, or not just about money. Okay. And anyways, expectations are different for different segments of customers who spend their money. So it's not only about money, it's expectations of different segments. Mind them, incorporate them, deliver them, and you have done your job. Okay. Now after the tour you must be thinking that when the tour is over, then how come the service has to be delivered. Yes, the service has to be delivered. Why? Because customer follow up and feedback is very important. If you remember, while telling you about customer satisfaction, I told you in my previous lectures that an unhappy customer or dissatisfied customer tells it to 9 to 10 people, or he may even go to social media, and out of every one dissatisfied customer who has informed about his dissatisfaction to the company, 2000 dissatisfied customers do not tell it to the company, or company does not get in touch with them. And these 2000 dissatisfied customers are like active volcanoes. Okay. So customer follow up must be done at any cost, and before this dissatisfied customer goes to social media or public platform or in his social gatherings and starts speaking negative about your company, get in touch with him, find out his problem, sort out his problem, give him whatever kind of I would say coupon or apology or whatever which can be done in our range of possibility. Do that. Okay. So that finally that customer feels satisfied, and as I told you in my previous lecture, a dissatisfied customer, if his problem gets sorted out, he comes back. His probability of coming back is higher. So it's very important that the company collects the feedback, and yes, please do this within 24 hours of returning back. You must be thinking a tourist is already flying back from USA to India, 12 hours flight. Just forget it. Get in touch with the 24 hours, because before he speaks to someone else, collect the details. Before he forgets all good things, collect his details. Before his suggestions, he might be a very delighted customer, but still he might be having some inputs for improvement in your product. It's your good opportunity. You can collect this data without any market research, that kind of a thing. Same salesperson can collect this information and compile this information and send it to the higher authorities, which can be incorporated in the products later. So that's what this is talking about. Feedback is very important. Then complaints and complaint resolution. I already told you in customer feedback itself that feedback is not just positive, it is negative also. So both the things, company needs to know. Okay. Now next is tourist incentives. Sometimes tourists get some loyalty point or something, some incentive. If they have gone on one tour, maybe they go on another tour, they get some kind of cashback, or maybe some coupon or some gift voucher. So these tourist incentives have to be provided to them. Then there may be a couple of services which were not delivered. Okay. Or it may be add-on packages which were purchased before departure, okay, but which could not be delivered because of some reasons out of the control of the company. So in that condition, a refund has to be generated for the tourist. So this refund process should also be initiated after the tour comes back. So once the tour comes back, the job does not end over here. Job still continues, and the travel management company and the service provider should do these things diligently. Okay. So with this, I'm ending this lecture here. At the end of it, I have provided you with a list of 5 books. You can refer to any of these books of your choice or any other book. Thank you.